Hello! Hey everybody, it has been a while. I looked on my my videos on my channel, live streamed. Like, wonder how long it's been since I've live streamed. It's been like over a year. Like, I was pretty consistent with it, and then I just haven't. And then it's been a year, a full year, of crazy things, which I'll catch you guys up on if you haven't already. But yeah, glad to be back. We got let's see, Aaron Pink. We got Humble Gallipot. We got the Mighty Battle Squid. Hey guys, glad to have you guys. So basically what this stream is going to be is just a rundown of what's been happening with me and the channel, what is currently happening, and what will happen in the very near future. Let's see, Mighty Battle Squid. I've been wondering this ever since the Cleric cornered the market on new flavor ideas. I gotta coin that. Cleric cornered the market. I love that. Not sure what you mean by the wondering if this... You mean live streams? Wondering if I'm going to do live streams again? So these live streams are going to be a bit different. I'm sorry, I'm double checking, make sure you guys can hear me. This will be a little bit different, meaning that my channel is not going to be very familiar going forward. It's going to be a lot different. So let's just start from the very beginning. You guys can ask questions in the chat. I'll be looking at it. So this last year, I've been married for 2 years now. Actually, my anniversary was just a couple weeks ago. So 2 years it's been since we've been married. I took a good hiatus on the channel during that time because I was obviously dating my wife-to-be, the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, and that needed some care and attention, especially if we were going to do it right. Advice to everyone out there, if you're going to get married, go to therapy before. A lot of couples get married and then decide on therapy afterwards. We're just like, no, we're just going to go. We're going to see if there's anything we do need fixed before it actually happens. Before we get amidst in trouble and miscommunication and things like that. And I recommend that to everyone because everyone needs it. So we did that. But it took some time off, and then I got back into it after we were settled and married and had our job situated in a new house and yada, yada, yada. So it was great to be able to get back in there and start making videos again, which I did. And I was able to get involved with a lot of the community, meet some amazing people, both in the creator space on YouTube as well as the writer space for TTRPGs, and that was amazing. And then it got to a point where we wanted a kid. We wanted a baby. And so we started trying, and lo and behold, we got pregnant. But it was soon after that. And some of you guys know this story because I've said it multiple times in videos in this past year. But I'll say it again for those of you coming in briefly. Our son... he got spina bifida in the womb. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically when the spinal cord is all a jumbled mess. In most cases, babies, when they're born with spina bifida, they have a bulb on their back. And I'm sorry if this is a little gross, but they have a bulb on their back where the spinal cord kind of floats around in, right? And then they have to kind of remove it and stuff it back in. In his case, it was an open wound, meaning that there was a large hole in his back and the spinal cord was just kind of free-flowing back there. So they had to go in, close the gap, sew it all up, and we had one of the best plastic surgeons in the world, or not, maybe not the world, but definitely the United States, we were told, come in and do the plastic surgery. So his scar looks amazing. We got the Delver in the chat. It's the GOAT. Hey, we want to talk. Still very sad that we never finished that campaign. I do apologize for that, but you'll know why. You know why. So we had the spina bifida. He had surgery in that. The problem is in the womb, with the hole in his back, his brain leaked spinal fluid through his back end, right through that hole. And so his body never developed a natural way of getting rid or recycling the spinal fluid. It just went on its own. So what happens is when you patch that hole up and the body doesn't know what to do with it anymore, then it just accumulates and accumulates and accumulates. So his head just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to a point where we need to do a second surgery to relieve that pressure and to figure out what to do. If that happened to any one of us with closed skulls, we would be dead. But luckily, babies have that malleableness, that soft spot, to allow for that kind of pressure, right? So we got the second surgery. Problem is, we had a choice. We had two surgeries to choose from. One is the regular surgery. They do this all the time. This is the preferred way as far as the doctors go, is just a shunt, which is a tube that you put under the skin into the brain, which drains the fluid, and the tube kind of goes through down your head, down underneath your skin in your neck, and then deposits into your abdomen, or your abdomen just absorbs it. And so that's what they usually do. However, we didn't want a piece of hardware in our baby, if at all possible. And so they did offer us a second choice, which was a study, right? Something that's not official, still undergoing studies and acceptance. And it's called, ETV CPC, which is a lot of words, which basically just means where they go in and they cut a new hole to drain the fluid, or at least make the hole bigger. I think in his case it was a second hole, which drains it, and then they cauterize the little bone inside your brain that actually creates spinal fluid. So they're like turning down the tap and making the drain wider, is essentially what happened. And that was a success. We chose that one, but the crazy thing is being a part of a study, we actually couldn't choose it. We just chose it as an option. And when they went into the surgery, they actually prepped for both surgery and literally had a randomizer on a computer that told the doctors which one they would do. So we didn't know what surgery the baby was going to go when he went into surgery, and the doctors didn't know which one that they were going to do when they got into surgery. But they literally prepped for both surgery, hit the randomizer button on the computer, and it popped up, we're going to do the ETV CPC. And we're like, amazing. Like, God is awesome. And so surgery went great. And he's been in therapy ever since. But as you can probably imagine, the bills are insane. Absolutely insane. I think we got up to $500,000 in surgery fees, in boarding fee or room and care, and follow-up care as well. We have to go back up to Salt Lake to Primary Children's every couple months to check on his head, see if it is getting bigger. We actually are doing that this Friday. We're going back up there. Thanks, Zool Glitz. You're in our prayers. I appreciate that. I really do. The community has been absolutely amazing. You guys have helped us raise what was it at the peak? It was donations like on outside, like on PayPal as well, but then also kind of coming together with the GoFundMe. We raised $18,000. Like, amazing, right? I mean, obviously that's not $500,000, right? I do recognize I said $500,000 and then $18,000 doesn't seem like a lot in comparison. But what it did do is it really helped us in the interim while we were trying to get insurance freaking taken care of. The insurance problem is, and this might be more detailed than you guys want to know, but you know, here you are, and I have a stage. Anyways, me and the wife, we tried so hard to get good insurance, and we basically just kept getting back with denials. We had insurance at the beginning, but it wasn't great insurance because we didn't know what we were going to have with the baby, right? And it was too late to change at that point. And so we had to apply for Medicaid, and they demanded paperwork after paperwork after paperwork. And they don't do this thing where they give you everything that they need right away. They said, these are the things that we need initially. And then they don't tell you what you need next until after they've reviewed those things and then came back and they're like, okay, now we need these things. And so there was a good 5 times of back and forth saying like, hey, we need these things. Okay, here you go. Okay, now we need these other things. Here you go. Okay, great. Is there more? Yep, there's more. We need these things. And here you go. Months that this happened. And there is a cutoff between the birth of the child and being accepted with the insurance to backdate. It's 3 months. And so, meaning that if you go past 3 months, then it won't backdate to any previous days after when it's accepted. So if we got accepted 4 months out, it would only cover the 3 months previously, not the first month, which is what we needed because that's when the big surgeries were. That's when the initial care at the hospital was. That's the birth from my wife, from the mother. That's where all of that $500K was. And we're like, if we don't get it, then that, one, what's the point? And two, there's no that way that we can achieve that or do that. And so we, during those 3 months, like we were using that GoFundMe to pay for all the medical bills that that we couldn't get insurance for. We were paying for insurance as if we were paying for the hospital bills as if we had no insurance, right? But because we told them we had insurance, it was a lot. It was a lot. Anyways, we get to the 3 months, and it was like the last day that we could have done this, and we're like, we have to know someone. We have to talk to someone. There's got to be some way that we can figure this out. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to have to go to the bank and we're going to have to file bankruptcy or figure all that stuff out. Literally a day from filing bankruptcy. Because we weren't making enough in a month to cover the bills of the month, if that makes sense. And so we're like, okay, what? And I was talking to my father-in-law, and he's like, "You're always," and probably this quote will go with me for the rest of my life. And this quote is, "There's always you're always one or two people away from solving all your problems. You're always one or two people away from solving all your problems." And we're like, okay, who is that person? Who is that person? And so, a little desperate, we went to ChatGPT. And I know that this is like AI is a hot button topic, generative AI, right, and things like that. We used this for this reason only. We told it, hey, this is our problem. This is what's going on. We have no idea. We've already searched the internet for solutions. We've tried those solutions. It hasn't worked. Like, what have we missed? Is there anything that we could do that we've missed? Any one person that we could contact that we need or that we can figure this out? And basically its response was, hey, here's the email to the CEO of Medicaid Utah. And we're like, okay, great. That could work. And so we got on the email. We drafted an email telling them about our issue, what we've been trying, what's been happening, and we sent it off. That night, the very day, we got an email back saying, hey, let me get my people on it. We got you covered. And the next day we were accepted. Oh, like, talk about a freaking roller coaster, guys. Yeah. Like, I'm sure, like I'm not saying that our situation is unique or any less stressful than somebody else's, but holy cow, that was a close one. And so that stresses out a ton. Now, coming off of that, we're still paying bills but not obviously not as much as we were before. And with the care of the baby and his extenuating circumstances, needing more care than an average baby, of course, my wife was not able to work. For a while, I was not able to start my job, so I had to switch jobs. And basically where we're at right now, and brings us to the present, is that the work that I'm doing is not able to support the family, right? Maybe in the short term, but the long term, absolutely not. Especially if we want to have more kids, especially for the life that we want to live. And I look back at like YouTube and the things that I'm doing there, and although it's amazing and it's fun and it's my passion, it is not yet to the place where I can do it full time. It's not yet to the place where it's paying for a large portion of our bills or our rent or anything like that. And so I have to relook at, okay, how do we restructure my life to be stable, to take care of my family with everything going on, and be able to set us for the future with our growing family. And unfortunately, where I'm at in the creative space, it's not that way. And it does take a great deal of luck for that. So basically, what I ended up doing is my father-in-law is in insurance, and it's kind of serendipitous where I struggled so hard with insurance that I now understand it very well, and now I can kind of turn around and help others in a very similar way, right? And so I'm starting to work with him and doing insurance stuff, which is obviously very different from the creative space. It's not as a big of a creative outlet, but I started doing that as a means to grow that income for my family for the long term. Now, am I going to stop doing YouTube? No. I am going to I'm going to still be doing it in some capacity. It's just different, and that's where I'm going to get to this big announcement here. We got Swampy Hag in the chat. Hey, welcome. Said I just jumped in the stream, but damn, it's been so close to medical bankruptcy. Must be extremely tough. Sending love. Thank you. Hoping America can one day get its healthcare in order. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic, right? I think a large part of what we did or how it all went down. It wasn't necessarily like the programs that they have in order. It was just people just not doing their jobs, is essentially what it was. The people who were looking at our case was just taking way too long. They were not getting to the things that they need to do. They weren't sending it to their higher ups, and it was just a bottleneck, and somebody just wasn't pushing it forward. Our hopes is whatever did happen, the CEO that we contacted was able to take care of it and fix whatever problem was going on. But ultimately, we did end up with what we needed, and we're okay in that sense now. The money things is a lot of reasons, but a little great thing at the end, right? Because obviously, like, our son is doing phenomenal. He is hitting every milestone, albeit just a little later than everybody else. He is still interacting. He's still, he's lucid. He even is kicking so much. He is a kicker. Holy crap. Usually not usually, but in a lot of cases with spina bifida kids, everything below the waist can be a little iffy, meaning they might need a wheelchair, braces on their legs, whatever help, because it is a spine issue, right? It looks like his legs are doing great, and we're feeling hopeful that he can crawl and walk and do all those things. Maybe with a little help, but obviously not as bad as it could be. His issue is his bladder. He cannot control his bladder. He has no way to release. He cannot pee on his own. And so it kind of takes on the care aspect of him is we have to cath him, put a catheter in every 4 hours or so, to drain his bladder because he can't do it on his own. And we'll be doing that for his whole life. That's for sure. So we'll be doing it up until he can do it himself, and then he'll have to do it, right? So that would just be meaning going into the bathroom and cathing himself at the urinal instead of just going, for those of you who are curious. So, okay. So that's awesome. That's great. Good news, right? Also great news, working with my father-in-law, and he's allowing a process or a way to help us get some money quickly and get some good foundation under us while everything's still crazy. Third amazing thing. Some of you guys know the Dungeon Coach from DC 20 from the YouTube channel. He basically put up this vocation, this job ad about being his assistant, like a dungeon master's or game master's assistant, which I applied for. And this is kind of in our transition area, so I wasn't sure what it was going to look like, what job I was going to have, but I wanted to kind of put my name out there and see what happens. Ultimately, he was, again, impressed with what I gave. We know each other from years past. Like, he coached my channel for the first year of it coming up, so we know each other very, very well. So I got the gig, and now I help him in prepping for his weekly sessions that you can view on his Patreon. So he has a home game that I help him prepare for. I do world lore, so helping with the back end of things. In a recent live stream of his, he actually kind of went into the detail of the Scions and Thalnari and what has happened to them in the past, and I helped him with that. That's kind of one of the things that I've helped him on. Also, I'm doing some side projects and some writing. In the recent monster book, the monthly magazine that he also has on his Patreon, there's a monster in there called the Marrow Reaper Queen, which is a giant spider that literally liquefies your bones inside and sucks out the marrow. I helped create that. And then I've also helped out with a new project that I'll actually show on screen. But if you have any questions so far, like, obviously let me know. So basically this latter part of the stream, I'm going to show you what this next little bit's going to be going on, or how the YouTube channel is going to be. Basically, I'll be doing more DC20 content, obviously, but not in the form of videos. Maybe here and there, but videos are probably not going to happen very long. It's going to be very disappointing for some people, as I just started the series again, the Better Classes series. So I did like Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, and the reflavors of those. And unfortunately, I don't think that I'll get back to those. That's the very unfortunate part. I literally have with work and with my wife's work and with what we have to do on the back end of things, I only really have like one day a week to dedicate to YouTube anymore. And so what I want to do is have this live stream every Monday where I'm doing this stuff with you guys. Answering questions, doing flavor stuff, right? Still doing that kind of thing, but just in a face-to-face kind of way, where you guys can ask questions and we can talk about those things. But I'll also be showing you guys processes of game prep. Well, I'll be doing game prep with you guys for the Dungeon Coaches system with DC20, with his home game, as well as some other projects that I'm doing there as well. So it'll be a lot more interactive, a lot more live streamy. I'll be doing that, and then every now and then, if I have time, I'll do videos as well. So that's kind of what that's going to look like. First things first, I'll kind of show you what this looks like a little bit. So I'm going to change the screen over to this. Perfect. This is the assistant page for DC20. Basically the page that I work on with Coach. So we have macro, which is what we usually work on Mondays, and then I can do micro kind of later during the week, which is big ideas in the macro, and then micro is the smaller ideas or fleshing something out. So if I give an example, here is last session, and this is kind of spoilers for someone who has not seen the live play, so be fair warned there. I'm not going to go into the full thing, but just, you might see something that's a little thing, or a little spoilery. So basically we give big ideas, right? And so it's scene 1, scene 2, big ideas. Tree fight in Bot and Brewer. May comes out. There's a dog. There's an investigation challenge. Yada yada yada. So we kind of have this long point by point. Okay, what do we think is going to happen during this session? And then once that's accepted, right? Coach will go in and be like, I like this. I don't like this. These things we need to change. Oh, this is awesome. We need to flesh this out a little bit more, etc., etc. Then it goes into the micro session, which is here, and then we can color code, right? We can be like, okay, here are all the NPCs in this session adventure. This is scene 1. Here's a social encounter. Here's some talking points. These things are what is said specifically, and these are the characters: Zyra, Voros, Sheriff, Basil, and Ursak is his characters. And so in the game, he can just take this and read it off and run it as a session. So we prepare all this. All he has to do is go and read it and run it. Awesome, right? And so basically what we would do with you guys is during the macro, you guys can help me with some ideas. And maybe we can help. Maybe we can do a little bit of that at the end here. So another thing that I've been working on, And this is a lot more, a lot harder of a challenge, and something that, unless you know Notion very, very well, unless you know maybe even coding a little bit, this is something different. But something that I've been working on with Coach that he's kind of teased is a fully functional DC 20 Dungeon Master screen and character creator in Notion. And I'll show you here. So this is something that, and this is kind of just placeholder stuff, right? So this isn't going to be the final, but this is one of my characters that I'll actually be playing in a DC 20 one-shot this Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to be filmed or not. I might ask Coach if I can film it either way, and then put it up on the channel. But basically, what you do is you have your attributes, and I'll be putting up attributes here. If you're familiar with DC 20, you have like the point buy or the choose your own. Oh shoot, I forget the terms. There's the regular way, and then there's the point buy, and you get the idea. So I need to put those in, but essentially you choose your modifiers. So if might, I have 2, right? Intelligence maybe 1, and agility you have 3, right? And then the prime number will always be the highest number of your other attributes. That's what the prime is the highest. And then so the saves always auto-populate. The coolest thing about this one is basically everything auto-populates. There's even the roll table that you can use these as a roll. Action points that you can track your action points, right, as your turn, reset them. Again, this is a beta, so it's again going to look different. But everything populates. So if I want it to be a level 3, right? And then I wanted to go to my class, and I wanted to be a barbarian. I wanted to be a level 3 barbarian. As you can see, I no longer have 9 hit points because that was lower than my than a spell blade, but I can reset it, and it's 16. So your health never goes higher than your current health, and it never goes lower than your death threshold. So a death threshold, it's a -5, meaning that's your death's door mechanic, meaning that you can go 5 lower than your 0 in order to before you die. So if you go to -5, you die, but if you're in between the 0 to -5, you're rolling death saves, but you're on your death's door. And if I remember everything that has to do with death's door, it just means that you can still have a single action on your turn and have the ability to heal and do stuff. So there's that. So then I can reset it. Oh, I just had a long rest. I got full hit points. Temporary hit points as well, right there. Rest points gives you the ability to heal during short rest. That's what those are for. Orman, I started watching some of your videos about a year ago and love what you do. Hey, thanks, Orman. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to your partnership with Alan and Pecht with DC 20. I am stoked as well, guys. I am stoked as well. I guess I didn't share this part where I have been doing some writings for TTRPGs for a good year now, right? I have my own Patreon that I've been doing subclasses and adventures and monsters and races and items and things like that. And there will most likely be a revamp of my Patreon here soon, where I'll have still the D&D stuff, but I'll also have like a D20 tier and offer. And that's where actually this will be. This character creator will be on my Patreon. I've talked with Coach about it. He's like, I don't really want it on my Patreon. I think it'd be actually better on yours. And then that way you can kind of make it your own. You can update it as you need. And I'll have a devlog and updates and whatnot. And I think that would be really good. And then eventually we can even have like a monster creator, and so that you can go in and just math it out and create a monster really, really quick. So I think that would be great. So stay tuned, right? But Patreon will be looking different here in the next couple weeks or so. But thank you, Orman, for praying for my son and my family. That's awesome. I like support, prayers, anything. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Let's see. And then, precision defense is automatic. Area defense, that's based on your might and agility, respectively. But being a barbarian also means that I have some stamina that I can use, right? So I have 2 stamina that I can use and then reset as I'm attacking. And with a barbarian, I think it resets, or you gain stamina points when you hit with heavy hits or brutal hits. You can regain stamina that way. You can also choose your like conditions here. The severity also has, and I don't know where I'm going to put this, but you can, make severity and then the color changes differently, and that's kind of fun. Just gets more severe if you get more bleeding, right? So different kinds of conditions. Down here is probably what I'm most proud of. So even with the barbarian, right, or every class has stats. I'm going to actually, for brevity's sake, I'm going to actually change my level to 1. That's going to make things similar, right? So my hit points, need to reset those. I have 10. Stamina points, I have 1. So I'm going to go down to my skills. And because I have 3 intelligence as a barbarian, which you can do in DC 20, right? You can have your prime stat be intelligence. It means you're just a really smart rager. Your rage doesn't come from your might, it comes from your intelligence, possibly. I can do my trades. So if I wanted awareness, I can do that. But if I do more than what I'm supposed to, because you can only level up in a skill as much as your combat mastery, which is half your level rounded up, meaning where now I have 1. So I can do 1 tier unless I choose an expertise. So I can choose an expertise here, making sure that I can raise my cap just 1 for a certain skill, and then I can place that when I get my bonus up to 7. But again, if I get 3, it's too many, right? So there's a way that you can, and then obviously some things will give you advantage on all a certain check, disadvantage on all a check. If it's a magic item or an ability, you can mark it here. You can also look at trades, works in the same manner, right? Where something like let's say musician, right? Musician can choose your charisma, right? Which I have a -2 in, or I can use my, let's say, agility, because I'm playing my instrument. So if I use one ability over the other, then I can get certain abilities from it. But that's only if I, get points in that, which I don't. This is the ones that I chose for my other character. But what's great is I have a level up tracker. Meaning that this thing tells me all the abilities that I should have and all the abilities that I have too much of, etc., etc. So with trade points that I just have, right? So these are no skills, right? Yeah. Skill points I have 0, which means I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. However, if I start marking these up here, right? Even though it allows me to do that, I'd be like, oh no, I have -2, means I have 2 skill points where it should not be. So I'm going to go back down here. Okay. Great. I need to take those away. Now I'm perfect. Now I'm sitting pretty, right? Now I have spells for my other character, but this is telling me, oh, I have 2 spells that I shouldn't have as a barbarian, which makes complete sense, right? And as you level up, these numbers will change, telling you, okay, where do you need to go? What do you need to do? You need a subclass feature, or you have one that you shouldn't have, etc., etc. And if you ever need to change that, you say like, hey, I got a magic item from here, gives me another skill. I can go down to add bonuses list, go to skills, and be like, okay, this magic item gives me another just a survival bonus, right? Which gives me, where's the survival? There it is, survival. Gives me 1 more bonus in survival, right? So things like that. This isn't done as well, but you'll have basically a panel where you can improve any number, plus or minus, up here. Basically, the world's your oyster. So going in, also, which is pretty cool, I can go to weapons, and I can either add a new weapon here, right, where I can choose. I need to turn that off. Choose this weapon, so it's a new weapon. Then I can just either search for, let's say I want a spear, right? So I can search for a spear. There it is. I want a long spear. And there we go. So it has piercing damage, weapon style. It has no charges. These ones do. So I can use the charge, reset the charge. And then its properties. Like, okay, don't want that. So I'm going to get rid of it. Instead of wanting the daggers, I wanted axes. So I'm going to have a hand axe. I want to throw those around. There you go. So I just switched it, and it populates. So I'm going to get the dagger back. There's a throwing dagger. And this works with everything, right? So if I wanted to do a like an ancestry trait, so here's my draconic resistance, breath weapon. I'm like, okay, instead of brittle, let's actually do like mana increase, right? Instead of mana increase, I don't want that. I'm going to switch it out for draconic protection, right? And then this is a charge, has a charge that I can use right there. So boost an ally's defenses near death's door. Now, if I'm correct, I think this is actually too much for an ancestry. So I'm going to go up here. Ancestry points. Oh, no, I'm good. That's it seems 1-to-1. So I have enough ancestry points. I'm able to do that. You can even go over here. 2, 2, 1, 1, -1, which equals 5. Right? And if your DM ever wants to give you more than that to start out with, then you can go down here, go to resources, I believe. No, skills, features, ancestry points right here. You can give yourself 2 more ancestry points to spend on other things, right? Class features work in the same manner. Talents, and you can get rid of that. I'm not an artificer. These are just tests. And then I believe, and that's essentially it, right? So that's what the character creator does. Now, the reason I'm making this, right, because this is a lot. The reason that I'm making this is that I am very, very unhappy with the VTTs that we already have. They are incredible visually. They do amazing things on their own, but there are just a few things that I think are missing. That one is customizability. For example, Demiplane, and Coach might be mad for me saying this, Demiplane just came out with DC-20. And if you love love Demiplane and want to use DC-20, do that, right? It's a phenomenal deal. I think it's like $20. You get it for life. You get everything. So get on there, get it, away you go. Something that they do not have and might not still have for a while. I know that they are working on it, but it's homebrew. You can't do homebrew on it. The best you can do is like make a note that you have a certain item. And even like D&D, something like D&D Beyond, where you essentially like need to know a little bit of coding in order to input subclasses, races, and things like that. It's not a very intuitive system where you can plug in homebrew stuff. And so that's one thing that I don't like, is that. And then with D&D Beyond, well, I'll say this about another Dimension 20 as well. One of the other complaints is that DMs actually can't access player character sheets. I have no idea why, but you need a specific URL you get from the player after they're done making their sheet, that you can then use, and then you have to use that URL every time that you access their sheet. So there's no way to connect your account with their account or see their characters anyway without that link. And then you have things like with Foundry that you have to use on your computer, which also has DC-20. If you like Foundry, use that. Go do it, right? This is one man's opinion. Foundry, you need to source on your computer, and if you use a different computer, you can't use Foundry. It has to be on the Foundry it has to be on the computer that you download everything on. So you can't use it on the go, which is unfortunate. So that's the reason why I'm creating this one, is so I can fix all the problems that I want and just make it my own. And then I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about buying something 3 times in order for it to be on my favorite VTT, right? I have to buy the books, the D&D books physically, and then I have to buy them again on D&D Beyond, and then I have to buy them again on Foundry or Demiplane, and I have to buy them again on another VTT, right? So I have to buy them 3 times over. Oh, and then I have to buy them again if I just want the PDF, right? Because if you buy it on a VTT, you don't get the PDF. So 3 times, physical, PDF, and I have to buy it on the VTT. I don't like that. So for me, I'm just like, let me just buy the PDF, and then I can just take that and plug it into my own system. So this is kind of what I'm going to go back up to the DM's screen, which is kind of what this is. So these are going to be all your characters. They're going to be lined up here. So this is the one that we were just working on. And then you have your lists, right? Your master lists. Let's go to equipment, and I'm going to go to my weapons view. And these are all the weapons that are currently in the game, right? So they have their type, where you equip them at, their weapon style, their name, the damage that they do, and their properties. The great thing about this is that it automatically helps you create them on your own. So this is the weapon and armor points system, which is, if you know DC-20, it's very customizable, where if you wanted to make any weapon with any style, you can, because you have basically 2 points to spend, right? And if it's this this fist style that you can use, it has impact and guard. But if I don't want guard, I can get rid of that and I'm like, oh, instead I want reach, right? And if you can see, that number is going away. So like, oh, I have 1 point to spend. I want impact and reach. So for this fist style, I have a stretchy fist, right? It has impact and reach. So it can reach really far, and impact means it does an extra point of damage on brutal or heavy hits. And so I can do that, right? So then I'll do put guard back. Same goes for like a ranged weapon where, oh, that one shouldn't be the way it is. I gotta fix that. Is all ranged weapons like that? Yep, that's something I gotta fix. Okay, good thing we gotta do this. Anyways, what you can do is like heavy is a minus. So if you want heavy for your fists, it gives you a -2. So now I can add 2 more single scores on there, right? So I can add like returning. Oh, not returning. That gives me a minus. Heavy? Is heavy? Wait, what is heavy? Oh, I think heavy just gives you a +1 to everything. So that's not -2. Let's find a two-handed. There we go. That's what I meant. Two-handed gives you 1 point back. Heavy was you do 1 extra point of damage no matter where you hit. It's kind of like impact, but on every hit. So this one gives me extra. So this one tells me I always have to use both hands, essentially. So I'm always punching like this with both of my hands, maybe either connected or I only have one hand. Where it's two-handed, and then it gives me, let's say, I want returning. You know, and it's a silly idea because you're never going to use that on a fist, right? Your fist is attached to you, so it's never going to come back. But silent might be one where, no, I think that's for ranged weapons as well. Hold on, guys. It's been a while. Bulky, rigid, grasp, mounted, concealable. Yeah, I go. Your weapon, your fist weapons. No one knows that you fight with your fists. You can hide your fists very well. They are a weapon that you can just hide. So, anyways, you get the idea. Same goes for like a magic item. If I go back to the sheet here, go to actually other lists. I'm actually working on this right now, but these are magic item properties. So all these properties are things that that you can plug in to a magic item. And so if I go back to the magic item list right here, then I can be like, okay, this new magic item, I'm going to name it Hell's Dagger, right? We'll do Hell's Dagger. Now I'll make it, it has a sword weapon style, right? So I fill out the weapon portion of it, but the magic item properties, I'll be like, okay, it actually has resistance, it's fire resistance, obviously, because it gives you fire resistance while you're wielding it. So I'll give you fire resistance 1. And then after that, do I not have it connected? It should populate here. It should populate with the magic. Be like, okay, now the magic power of this thing is 1. And so if you're an artificer, you can actually use this to create your own weapons and magic items and things with the certain properties that you pick up along the way, right? So that's what I'm working on. I mean, you can ask any questions that you guys want, if that's exciting to you, what you would worry with that. But essentially, this is like going to happen with DC20. You're going to have a number of different, what's the word? A number of different VTTs to choose from. Number of different avenues for character creators. This one I enjoy a lot because you can click and drag and make your VTT the way that you want it. So if I wanted to put stamina over here, I absolutely could, right? If I wanted it in between these things, I absolutely could, right? So it's just and then I can change colors, put art in, put a banner up at the top. If you know Notions, you know how to do those. Oh. Have I not been? Oh, gosh. I don't think I've been. Guys, I haven't had the right screen up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, you guys should have caught that for me. Darn it. You guys should have caught that for me. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay. Shoot. Shoot. Okay, well, briefly, what I was saying before, this is your list, this is your sheet. Gosh dang it, why'd I do that? That's embarrassing. Here's your equipment, here's your weapons view. You go here, you can get rid of ability, gives you 1 point extra. Then you can use a multifaceted, which actually allows you 2 different weapon styles. So you can, there you go. There's your quick equipment builder, weapons builder there. And that, yeah, rolling crits. It's cool. We've been enjoying your lovely face and descriptions. Thanks, guys. Oh, gosh. So, magic item view. Here you go. There's the magic item list that I can pick from. So, here's Hell's Dagger again. Here's the damage resistance. I can pick that up. And it should populate right here. What the overall, if I choose a lot more, right? So, if I have Spell Empowerment, Sentinel, I can add all of these in there. And then it'll populate. Going back to the other lists here, I can scroll down to this. So this is the list of item properties. So if you're a DM and you're going in here and you're like, I want to add a magical property that my artificer can use, that I can use, but at any point I can just add a new page and plug it in. Okay, what's the category where you can choose out of the category, and what's the magical power of this specific feature? And then when you go back to your equipment, you can it'll auto-populate there. So basically what I'm trying to do is an automated across the board, right? Automated for both the character creator that VTTs kind of have already, but also an automated portion for the DM with homebrew, which no VTT really has at all at this point. At least with the exception of D&D Beyond, but an easier one, right? So you have your ancestry with your point costs, short descriptions, ancestry, and all those good things. So, and basically what you would do here is your DM, if you've used Notion before, you'll just basically press to new, and it'll have a template that it already has everything filled out. So you'll press new, it'll pop up here as new character, and then the new character you can just invite a player to join in on, and they will have access to that character. The great thing also is that the character sheet is made up so that they control their own things, but there is no way, impossible way, to get rid of any item or feature or accidentally delete something on the DM side. Right? They can accidentally delete their stamina, but I mean you can just do a page version and go back, right? That's simple enough. But if they can't accidentally delete this throwing dagger. Because it's a relation property, which means that I'm just peering into another database, the other database, and I'm choosing to display it here. And so if they delete it, it's just deleting the display and not the actual item, right? So there's that. You guys can kind of see my vision here, and hopefully it just turns into something that actually other people can use, right? So that's what I'm working on. The coach's assistant portion, and then this portion here. And then once I'm done with this, I'll be moving on to other projects. And what we want to do is actually use this for maybe adventures where DMs can maybe go in. And this is just ideas, right? Just ideas that we have. It may not be a thing. Possibly could not be a thing, but also could be a thing, where we have adventures that we can give out as templates in Notion, where it's like choose your own adventures, where the DM doesn't really have to worry about the choices that the players make, because when the players make them, all they do is press this button, and the adventure just populates with what happens next, right? If they killed the noble, instead of talking through it, okay, press the button. Oh, they killed the noble. Okay, this is then what happens with the rest of the adventure, and not these other things because you didn't choose that route. So that's really exciting to us. Is maybe even just changing the way that we do adventures, changing the way that adventures are displayed in that way, which would be so cool. So, so we only have a couple minutes left. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. Anything going forward. If you're watching this afterwards, you can comment and I'll respond to it any questions or concerns that you guys have or ideas that you have. Right? This is the next thing for the Cleric Corner. I'll show you real quick. I'll remember to change it now to the screen to this what I'm working on today. Says rolling crits. So I came in late. Are you working with DC20 now? Yes. So I'm a GM assistant for Coach, but that it's kind of an all-encompassing. So I'm in development, like I'm a dev as well, technically, where I'm working with him on his home game. So I'm basically help prep his home game for that he has on his Patreon. I help with writing, so I'm kind of as a help on the writing team, and then I'm doing other projects as well, which I just showed you on the character sheet part. So I'm doing a few different things, and my role kind of changes per project, but overall helping Coach and getting DC20 out the door and with cool things, right? So, but because I am kind of this new person coming in, I can work on some side projects while the whole dev team works specifically on just the development of DC20. Because they're trying hard to just get that out, right? They're full force. Okay, what's the next update? What, like the 0.10? They're almost done with that. Then it's 0.11 after that. Gonna roll out DC20 as fast as we possibly can. So this right here is Timberhole. So this is actually what I'm working on today. So again, spoilers. But essentially, they just came out from a druid's grove who quested them to go out and look for a poacher who has been being a little naughty and killing animals that he's not supposed to, and they're sending the players away to go and take care of that. And so this is some possible routes to see the poacher. I'll just kind of scroll down here because we only have a few minutes, and then I'll ask you guys to go down in the comments and give me some ideas as I'm working on it today. So either the poachers is one of the guild masters here in Timberhole, and they have to do some timber trials to get inducted into a hunter's guild. So they kind of get inducted to meet this poacher, and they get inducted by the timber trials, which is basically a big wooden sports event with log tosses, axe throwing, sawing race, chopping race, rifle shooting, fox hunting, all that stuff that you might expect in a place called Timberhole, which is a logging city, right? They could also maybe meet some NPCs that are trying to scout out able-bodied adventurers to the poacher. And the poacher, what they don't know is that this poacher hunts humans as well. And basically got to the point where, like, okay, big game is not interesting anymore. We're going to be hunting humans and adventurers. So that's the whole deal. And then they could also try to meet with another guildmaster, and this other guildmaster wants to try to get dirt on the poacher guy. So anyway, so they go to that. There's 3 sections: shipping docks, logging mills, guild halls, the Carver's Guild, Loggers Guild, the Hunters Guild, all different places. Gets invited to the poacher's dinner, has the talking points. Basically, he sets out the rules of the game. Gives a little bit of insight. Okay, what are the abilities that this poacher has? And with that, this is just ideas. These are macro ideas. None of this could go through. All of this could go through. So it's not really spoilery unless he chooses, like, yeah, we're going to use that, right? Because obviously this is not fleshed out to the point where it's a stat block. These are just general ideas of, like, oh, what could this poacher actually do? And then he might have attachments that he can change his weapon into a shotgun or firing net or rapid fire, right? So he can change his loadout. He also has a teleporting bullet, so in case the players try to get to him directly, he can shoot at the ground a ways away and teleport to that location. And then he can use his Predator's Eye to overcome the player's defenses. Basically just a dead eye, right? A marksman. And then the game with the rules, and it's going to be like a hex crawl, right? So they're going to be either moving slowly, normal, or moving fast with the poacher following them via the hexes. And then they can do things to either improve their travel or hinder the poacher themselves, keep them from catching up. They might encounter some crazy terrain. They might find secret caches that he kind of lures them with. Maybe even makes a fake cache where they get comfortable getting some stuff from the cache that now there's a trigger crossbow in one. Other traps that they could find, a signal, a firework that goes off and tells them their location. And then maybe even creature encounters like hunting dogs, caged animals, a forest spirit that is loyal to the poacher that they need to have a dialogue with, and then adventure encounters where the poacher actually has other adventurers at that dinner too, where he has all of these people go out to try to find a crystal, and if they find a crystal and then they leave, then they can live, right? So it's kind of that challenge. It's like, I'm going to hunt you down, but if you get to the crystal and get out of here, I'm going to let you live. But you might be lying, right? And then the crystal beast, I'm going to leave that as maybe a spoiler, or I'm going to leave that alone. So that if you do end up watching the video of the session, then you'll know what that means at the end. So possibly some possible twists as well. So if you're looking at this later and being like, oh, I have some cool ideas for that, you can put those in the comments below and I will see them. So as far as now, because I think that that covers everything that's going on, next week I'll have another live stream with all of this stuff. We can maybe vote on whether we want to look at game prep, and we could even do game prep for my session, which I also have on my Patreon. I have my home game there. Or we can do like the character sheet Notion stuff. So until then, in the description below, I'll have access to my Patreon if you want to check that out. Again, that'll be changing here in a little bit. But you can still access everything that you need to right then and there. I think just for $5 you can get my whole plethora of stuff that I've been working on this last year. And then there's also the GoFundMe, which is still live for my son. If you guys still want to participate, if you haven't had the chance before and wanted to, it's down there as well. Roland Quit says, neat. Hope you have the position works out for you, dude. Thank you so much. I hope so too. Something that I'm able to work on the side and still do this thing while I'm still working on other things like the insurance thing and supporting my family. The great thing is that even though I can't do my YouTube thing as full time as much as anymore, it's still given me the opportunity and the excuse to do things because I am being paid for it. The excuse to still work on things and do this in the interim. So I'm very grateful to Coach and giving me that opportunity. Roland says, "I'm sure your divine creativity will be an epic boon to the project." Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and you would know, right? You've run games, you've run games with me, and so that means a lot. I appreciate that. So until then, go out there and make your worlds a better place.